Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome to our late summer service here at Temple Shalom Emeth. We're going to start off with warming up with a couple of songs to get us into the spirit of Shabbat. And why don't we start with one you'll find words to on page 643, I believe. And it's a song called in the prayer book Hallelujah. Sometimes we call it Kol Hanshama because those are the words that it starts with. So I hope you'll join me, especially if you know the song.
And I hope everybody's got shakers.
Right, shakers. 643, and it's called Hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Kol Hanshama, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Kol Hanshama, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Kol Hanshama, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Kol Hanshama, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Kol Hanshama, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Kol Hanshama, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Right. Thank you. Okay, good job singing with me. And let's do another song. Page 648. We have a song called Shir Chadash, which means a new song. And it also says Shiru Ladonai. It begins with Sing to the Lord. 648. Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz. Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash. Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz. Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash. Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing to God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz. Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash. Let's sing the verse again. Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz. Shiru Ladonai Shir right. Should we do one more?
Absolutely.
Okay, how about, let's sing sort of a classic song that is very important in our Jewish liturgy, and it's a song back on page 644, Hine Matov, Uma Naim, how good and how pleasant it is that brothers and sisters dwell together.
All right. You're giving up.
Making way.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Is this even on? It's probably not on. We don't need it. You can hear me, right?
What?
Raise your hand if you can't.
Excuse me?
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. And Shabbat Shalom, everybody out there who's watching on live stream. And it's great to be back. I've missed being here and seeing you and being part of this Shabbat experience all summer. It seems like it's been forever on one hand, and it seems like it's just been yesterday on the other hand. So it's great to be here, and I'm just going to turn it over to Shelley for 1 second, who's not going to be on camera.
No, I won't
But
be.
you
You don't want me on camera, right? Or-
Right, just quickly.
Okay.
Yep.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. It's been a long time since we've had services like this in the sanctuary, so just to refresh everybody's memory, there are 3 emergency exits from the sanctuary. There's the door that you came in from back there. There is an emergency exit in that way. And our third would be out this door over here, out into the hallway, make a left, and make a right out the door to the social hall door.
Thank
We
you.
have an AED, we have first aid kits. If anybody needs any medical attention, please let one of us know and we will get first aid for you.
Thank you very much. So now we're going to continue with the lighting of the Shabbat candles, which you may find on pages 120 and 121. I'd like to invite Ellen Finkelman to come on up and light the candles for us this evening in honor of her sponsoring the Oneg in memory of her mother, and also for being our religious and ritual chair and general all-around great person.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of generations of Israel who've kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen, 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 amen.
Thank you. We now continue with the second section of our service. The first section was called Kabbalat Shabbat, or Welcoming Shabbat. Now we're going to continue with the Shema Uvirchoteha, which you may find on page 146. We rise for the Baruch Hu. Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due forever. Praise be Adonai, to whom praise is due, now and forever.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamavorach. Baruch Adonai Hamavorach Leolam Va'ed.
Page 148. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, bechokma poteach she'arim, uvitvuna mishaneh itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umsader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, golil or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uvein laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo. El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Top of 149 together. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Page 150.
Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amcha ahavta Amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu lemadita Al Ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shachvenu uvkumenu nasiach bechukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratcha ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הן חיינו לאורך ימינו, ובהם נגה יומם ולילה, נגה יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל.
Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. We continue with the Shema, the watchword of our Jewish faith, on pages 152 and 153. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Please be seated. And please join me in the next page, 154, as we chant the V'ahavta prayer. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'vetecha uvlechtecha v'derech uv'shachbecha uv'kumecha uv'kshartam le'od al yadecha v'hayu letotafot ben enecha uv'chtavtam al mezuzot betecha uv'isharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Together, you shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God, Adonai Elohechem, Emeth. Now we're going to continue with a song that we sing. It's the song that the Israelites sang when they crossed the Red Sea to freedom from Pharaoh's grip, called Mi Chamocha, Who Is Like You, on page 158.
Shakers. Mi Chamocha ba'elim Adonai, Mi Chamocha ne'utoine, Mi Chamocha elim Adonai, Mi kamocha edar b'kodesh. Torah תקראו בניך, בוקי הים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלי אנו ויאמרו, זה אלי אנו ויאמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
Thus it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praise to you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. Now we continue on page 160 with the singing of Hashkivenu, a song that asks God to create a shelter of peace over us.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Ushmor tzedenu לחיים ושלום מעתה ועד עולם. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים.
Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Now we continue with the singing of Vishamru. The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time, on page 162.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אור היא לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. שמרו ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
And that concludes the second section of our service, and now we're going to continue with the third section called the Tefillah, which means the prayer, and it's the time during the service where we thank God for being the God of our ancestors. We thank God for giving us strength, and we thank God for bringing us peace. So we turn to page 164. Please rise in body or spirit.
Anananananana Adonai. Ananananana Sfatai Tifta. Ananananana Ufi Yagid. Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Ananananana Adonai. Ananananana Sfatai Tifta. Ananananana Ufi Yagid. Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Ananananana Adonai. Ananananana Sfatai Tifta. Ananananana Ufi Yagid. Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Ananananana Adonai. Ananananana Sfatai Tifta. Ananananana Ufi Yagid. Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Ananananana Adonai. Ananananana Sfatai Tifta. Ananananana Ufi Yagid. Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Please turn page to page 166, and join me in the chanting of the Avot prayer. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei Hakol, v'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei v'Nehem, Lema'an Shemo v'Yahava, Melech Ozer, U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen, Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Page 168. Ata gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol ata Rav le'Hoshia, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Sohomech nohofnim ve'rofech oholim, U'matihir asurim, Umkahayim emunato lishenei afar michamocha ba'al gevurot umido melach melech memid umkahayeh umatzmiach Yeshua v'ne'eman ata lehachayot ha'akol Baruch atah Adonai mechayeh Hakol. Page 170. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahallelucha selah. Baruch ata Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. And we now continue with the singing of Shalom Rav, a song for peace, on page 178.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. V'tov be'enecha livarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Tasim leolam.
Together, grant abundant peace to Israel, your people forever, for you are the sovereign God of all peace. May it be pleasing to you to bless your people Israel in every season and moment with your peace. Blessed are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamvarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. Now continue with the Misha Berach Get Well prayer on page 371. May the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. This evening we think in particular of Phyllis Burlow, Steve Wasserman, Dimitri, and we think of all of those who are still suffering from COVID and other diseases. We think of those who are suffering in Ukraine from that horrible war and all other conflicts around the world. And at this time, if you'd like to have the names of others to include in our Misha Berach Get Well prayer, you may say their names aloud as I look across the room.
Lou Damelin,
Sharon Lipman, Lisa Rohrberger.
And everybody out there may say their name aloud as well if there's somebody you want us to keep in your heart and mind as we prepare the Misha Berach prayer. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for all of their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send all of them a complete renewal of body and spirit. And let us say, Amen.
Misha Berach Avotinu Mekor habracha le'imotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach imotinu mekor habracha la'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
And now, in addition to us thinking and keeping in our minds and hearts those who need our support, We also think about all of everything that we're grateful for in our lives, so I know there are lots of people here who have things to be grateful for, and because and God tells us actually that on Shabbat we're supposed to focus on our blessings, not our curses. So this is the time we forget the bad things in our lives and focus on the good. And we want to focus on the extra good. So I'll start. I'm grateful that my son got a job. You all know that. Those of you out there might not. As a law clerk for a federal judge in El Paso, Texas. And he's leaving this coming week. I'm grateful for my new four-legged son, Rocky, who's keeping me very busy. And he's in trouble, trying to keep me out of trouble. And so those are the things I'm grateful for now, in addition to life and health. So I'd like to open the floor to anybody else who wants to share something that they're grateful for. Jeff.
I'm grateful for two things. Yeah. So one is, I made a new friend tonight. I haven't even learned his name yet.
Jeff, your new friend that you made, who you just met tonight, his name is Eliyahu, which is a wonderful, beautiful name. So.
And I'm also grateful because Jessica has a new job, and she'll be starting in October in Washington, D.C. So I'm mixed grateful about that. We'll miss her with her being out of town.
Excellent. So Jeff has a brand new friend, Eliyahu, who is 3, who is sitting on Jeff's lap, even though he didn't even know his name. And then he's been reading him stories during the service, which is awesome. And he's also grateful for his daughter, Jessica, getting a new job in Washington. I'm not just saying that to repeat everything you're saying. I'm doing it for the people out there. Who else has things to be grateful for? Michael, you better raise your hand.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I'm grateful for my 4-day-old granddaughter, Maya Hallie, that's her middle name, and she is doing quite well, and first grandchild, and very happy to see her.
Congratulations.
Mazel tov. So Michael has a 4-day-old granddaughter named it's Maya or Maya? Maya Hallie, and she's doing great. I saw a picture. She's absolutely beautiful, and he now has ascended to the new rank of grandfather. But that's awesome. We're all very, very excited about that, and I can't wait to meet her. Val.
I'm grateful that the weather on Sunday is going to be beautiful for our open house from 2 to 4.
So Val is very grateful that the weather looks perfect for our annual temple open house, Sunday from 2 to 4 right here at the temple. And I'm grateful to Val for organizing the open house. Thank you. Ellen.
I'm grateful that my son and daughter-in-law moved within driving distance, and we're going to go see them in Washington.
Excellent. So Ellen is grateful that her son and daughter-in-law moved within driving distance so they can go see them and only have to drive 7 hours instead of a lot more than that. And they're going to go visit them soon. Excellent. Kyle.
I am also grateful for my brother's 2 new dogs.
Okay, Kyle is grateful for his brother's 2 new dogs. And something else?
And
Or was that it?
I think so.
Okay, you'll stop there. That's 2 great things to be grateful for. Shelley.
I'm grateful for our new security guard, Dara.
Thank you, and Shelley is great, as am I, as are we all, grateful for our new security guard, Dare, who's out there. Welcome, Dare. I was going to welcome you later, but we'll welcome you now. Thanks so much for being with us. Anybody else have anything to be?
Well, as many of you know, I'm grateful that this is the week that our son, Sam, will be leaving the Roost and going off to UMass Amherst, and will be move-in day is next Thursday. So.
Are you grateful for that?
I'm grateful that he's happy about it, so I'm grateful
He's
for
grateful.
that. And I'm grateful that he has reached that point so successfully. And there is some bittersweet part of it too, but for the most part, I'm grateful.
Excellent, excellent. And by the way, I'm very grateful to Bob and Andy and Heidi and who have done an unbelievable amount of work around the temple. We have a kitchen that's in the process of being completely renovated, and so many other projects. I can't even begin to mention all of them. And Andy was just out here this afternoon putting mulch outside, and Bob is shaving down doors and moving things. So I'm extremely grateful for you guys for everything that you've done for us over the summer and before that, and will continue to do, I'm sure. Great, so for all of these things and more, we continue with the Shehecheyanu prayer, thanking God for enabling us to reach this moment.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Join with me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
We pause for a moment of silent prayer. And we now continue with the singing of Oseh Shalom, another song for peace, which you may find on the bottom of page 180. Get your shakers ready.
Oseh Shalom, Vimromav, Uya Oseh Shalom, Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. Oseh Shalom, Vimromav, Uya Oseh Shalom, Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. Oseh Shalom, Bimromav, Uya Oseh Shalom, Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. Oseh Shalom, Bimromav, Uya Oseh Shalom, Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen.
Well, Shabbat Shalom again, everybody. So you may be hearing a lot about Rocky in the weeks and months ahead. So I promise not every sermon will be about Rocky, but this one's going to be, or just a little bit. So this week's Torah portion is called Re'eh, and we're in the middle of the book of Deuteronomy, and it's the conclusion of Moses' second of 3 discourses to the Israelite people as they prepare to cross the Jordan into the Promised Land. And so this Torah portion begins by talking about blessings and curses, and how if the Israelites follow God's commandments, they will be blessed, and if they ignore God's commands and go astray, they will receive a series of curses. But I want to talk about particularly the first word of this Torah portion, re'eh, which means see. It's the command see, S-E-E, exclamation point. So it says, see, this day I set before you the blessing and the curse. Re'eh anochi noten lifnechem hayom bracha uklala. And so that word see really struck me because this summer, since I got Rocky in particular, I've been seeing things very differently. It's like a whole new world has opened up, and you know when you have something new comes into your life, you have suddenly you start seeing things that are very relevant to that particular thing that's changed in your life. And so all of a sudden I'm seeing everything about dogs that I was never seeing before, and there are even things magically appearing in my Facebook feed about dogs and commercials and everything. And so my whole life, right, my whole perspective, I've really been able to see all kinds of things that I did not see before. And that's kind of led to other things, not just having a dog, seeing what it's like to have a dog or being the mother of a dog, but it's had all kinds of, it's kind of been like the snowball effect of seeing more and more and more. Suddenly I've been seeing all kinds of people who I've never seen before because I've lived in my house a long time. I never see any of my neighbors. Everybody keeps to themselves. I have a little place in New Hampshire, been there for 20 years, only had just like hardly anybody who I knew. And all of a sudden, I'm meeting all kinds of new people. My neighbors are stopping to say hello. They want to come and pat the dog. In the past month and a half that I've had him, suddenly I know all kinds of things about all of my neighbors in my town and in New Hampshire that I never ever knew before. Like, oh my God, it's really opened my eyes to my neighbors, and I've all of a sudden I'm seeing new friends that I never saw before, and all my relationships have changed with all of you, or many of you as well. I've already had some dog play dates. And people, I have a list of people who want to meet the dog. So I've suddenly become a lot more popular, I think, among the temple members. Suddenly people want to take walks with me. Suddenly people are saying like when can we get together? So I've seen that somebody said to me once in the past few weeks, having a dog has really humanized you in a way that you weren't, or made you more approachable kind of in a way that you weren't before. So suddenly people are seeing me differently, I'm seeing them differently. It's changed the dynamics of my family. I've seen a huge change in my relationship with my family. Suddenly they want to see me more. Suddenly my son wants to be with me more, which all changed because of the dog. So all of this has made me see a lot differently and be seen a lot differently. And in addition, even when I just take the dog for a walk, I see all these things that I have never seen before. Not just the people, but my mother said, oh, when you get a dog, you'll be able to walk him. They'll take your long walk every day with him. And I'm like, I don't think that's going to happen. Because every day when I go out with him for a walk, we stop at every single bush, at every single flower, at every single blade of grass, it seems, every stick, every acorn. So suddenly I'm always in fast forward, but he's made me see just the world around me and just have to stop and look and just appreciate the little things that are right in front of me. Not just, I'm trying to pull him as fast as I can and rush him around the block. He's pulling me in the other direction and kind of saying, hey, stop and look at what's in front of you. So he has enabled me to see the blessings of God's world in a sense. So all of these are ways of seeing that I haven't seen before. And I'm wondering if there are, and all this is, talks about the blessing and the curse, all this has been like a real blessing for me and has made me a lot more of a positive, fulfilled person. And so I'm just wondering over the past summer if there's anything that made you kind of see the world in a different way. I know I suddenly threw a little curveball at you with a question. So has anything happened in your life? I know Michael is now seeing the whole world or the whole concept of grandparenthood in the way that he didn't before. So I'm not going to put you on the spot, but anybody, something in their life has changed that has enabled them over the summer to kind of see the world differently or more fully, or think about the world in a different way. Ellen.
I spent 3 weeks with my 10-year-old grandson, and he definitely sees the world differently.
So she spent 3 weeks with her 10-year-old grandson, and don't forget your granddaughter. And he's much more verbal. It was definitely made you see. And what about it has made you see the world differently?
Just appreciating some of the things. He never been to amusement park, and it was just amazing all the different things in this country.
So he's from South Africa, for those out there who might not know, and so he came here and went to his first amusement park, and just the little thing, everything, all the little things about our country that you might have taken for granted, but were really new and great for him to see. Excellent. Val.
Same thing, Mark and I got to visit our grandson, who is 16 months, so not too verbal, but we were outside in my son and daughter-in-law's backyard with a little wading pool. And the simplest little things, he was putting the hose in, and then the hose would flop out, and put it back in and flop out, and he thought it was hysterical. And I would never think that was hysterical, except for watching him think it's hysterical. So, all things like that, it's just to see the joy in somebody that you love, that, ordinarily you wouldn't find any joy in the hose flopping around, but.
Well, that's wonderful. So Val's 16-month-old grandson, who she visited, was playing with a hose in a pool, and the hose kept flopping in and out of the pool, and he thought that was hysterically funny, and that gave her an appreciation of the little things in life, and just enjoyed the joy of seeing her grandson enjoying himself and the little things in his world. Yeah, Bob.
So I was this July I turned 80 years of age.
Oh, Mazel Tov.
And I was fortunate enough to celebrate twice with my family, once with my siblings in Chicago, and once with my 2 sons and their extended families in Minneapolis. And it gave me a new appreciation of how fortunate I've been, and how much I look forward to enjoying my family even more in the years to come.
Excellent. So Bob just turned 80, and we're very grateful for that. Mazel Tov. And he was with his family, and he had a couple of celebrations, and he appreciates his family even more, and is looking forward to many more happy times with his family. But he sees the gratitude in those who love him and his life. So all of these are examples of how we can feel blessed, or we have felt blessed over this coming summer, and the ways in which we need to appreciate every day of life. And there's so much potential. Once we feel that gratitude, it helps us to appreciate every single day that we have in these short lives that we live, and to be able to really see God's world and see the blessings. And I think it helps us also to be better people and veer towards following the mitzvot and living the best lives possible. So, excellent. So Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And now we're going to continue our service with the Aleinu on page 586. That came out of the back of my head. With the Aleinu, Eliyahu. Eliyahu, would you like to come up here with me for a minute? Come on up. Please rise.
Okay.
Pull down the string. Oh, I want to pull down the string. The string. Here, right here. Can you do that? Me too. That was the Yeah, that's the Torah. Okay. We'll consider that done.
Aleinu lishabeach la'adon hakol, latei kedula liyotzer bereshit, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Please be seated. Go back to Jeff.
And please be seated, yes, and please turn to page 588 and join me in the singing of Shehu Noteh Shamayim. Shehu Noteh Shamayim v'yoser haaretz u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim mima'al u'shchinatu zo b'gavhei meromim u'Eloheinu ein od Emeth Malkeinu efes zulato kakahatu b'torahato v'yadata hayom v'hashivota b'levavecha ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim b'shamayim mima'al v'aaretz mi tachat ein od. And please turn to page 591. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol ha'aretz bayom hahu Yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
The introduction to the Kaddish for those who have died you may find on page 599. We think now of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those we have drawn into our hearts with our own. We recall those whose yahrzeits occurred this past month: Helen Baden, Nathan Baker, Eric Browdy, David Karen, Saul Charnow, Florence Chaffetz, Milton Doshinsky, Ruth Finkel, Neil Fox, Sidney Gitlin, Jean Hall, Mark R. Kravitz, Lucy Levy, Raymond J. Newton, Lucille Schumann, Harriet Shepperton, Morris Siegel, Lorraine Simon, Lillian Stone, Ruth Simon Weber, Gershon Witznoodle, Eunice Sue Wolf. At this time, if there are names of others you'd like us to keep in our hearts and our minds, we prepare to recite the Kaddish prayer. You may say their names aloud as I look across the room.
James Quick. Joe Bellucci.
Zichronam livracha, may all of their names be for a blessing. We turn to page 598 as we rise to recite the Kaddish prayer. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shmei rabbah, v'yalma divrach urutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agala v'yizman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach l'olam olmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudesha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata ta'amiran b'yalma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, to all the world, as we say together, amen. Please be seated. So Shabbat Shalom once again, and it's great to see all of you here. And as you know, our big temple open house is this Sunday, and I hope everybody can join us for that. At 2:30, we're having Alex the ice cream truck. What could possibly be better than that? And at 3 o'clock, we have an amazing, amazing magician who also happens to be a rabbinical student. He's a lot more talented than me already. So he's going to come in and do a magic show, and we're going to have, I hope all of you will be there to greet people who are new to our community or returning to our community. We're just going to have a lot of fun. There are going to be arts and crafts, and you can learn all about our programs and our new ping pong club we'll learn about, in our book club, and our FAB, Free as a Bird group, which is having its first event September 13th. Is that September 10th? Right, September 10th. We'll learn about our new rabbinic intern, Ben Einseidler, will be there, and he's going to talk, he'll greet you. And our opening day of religious school, by the way, is September 11th. So if anybody needs to sign up for religious school for pre-K through grades 10, that would be a great time to come and do that. So if anybody is interested, just show up and or call Val. And any other announcements? Okay, again, I wanted to welcome Dare back there, and hope everybody can just have a chance to meet him. If you didn't meet him on the way in, you can meet him on the way out. He's going to be with us every Friday night. And that's it. All right, so then we'll continue with the Kiddush on page 122. I'd like to invite Richard Finkelman to come on up and lead us in the Kiddush. Please rise. Oops, I closed it. I'm confounded.
The heaven and the earth were finished, and all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing, and God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodesho b'ahava uvratzon inchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta v'yotanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha v'ahava uvratzon inchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Amen.
Thank you very much. We're now going to continue with the motzi, and I'm going to leave well enough alone this time. So,
Shall we just sing?
Yeah.
Anybody else coming? Okay.
Nope.
Please sing with me. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
please be seated. And thank you, Ellen Finkelman, for baking the challah for us once again.
And let's do a closing song. And we shall sing a song called Hevenu Shalom Aleichem, which has within it the words Tehine Matov again. And both of those appear on page 644, I believe. And it's a contemporary version of the song, which we like to do here. I hope you'll join with me.
And please shake along.
Shake along. Get your shakers out. Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem Hevenu Shalom, Hevenu Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem Hevenu Shalom, Hinei Matov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad, Hinei Matov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad, Hevenu Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem Hevenu Shalom, Hevenu Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem Hevenu, Aleichem Hevenu, Aleichem Hevenu Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Yay. Thank you, Eliyahu.